So I recently made 2 videos on making both new teams for Ash and his companions, so I will now be making a third installment, that being his rivals. I'll be creating new teams for every single one of the rivals he battled with throughout the entire series, Gen 1 through 8. Remember, everything discussed here is my opinion, so here's the ground rules before we start. No legendary Pokemon. The second rule is completely optional, by choice if I wanted to, so if I give Ash's rival 6 Pokemon, I give him 6 Pokemon, so if I give him less than 5, I give him less than 5 Pokemon. Also, some rivals won't count, so sorry Tobias and B fans, but anyways, let's get started. First up, Gary Yoke, Ash's #1 main rival. He'll actually have 3 teams that will represent each series he was in, starting with Kanto, which would be Blastoise, Nidoking, Arcanine, Alakazam, Electabuzz, and Executor. I decided to, mix both his teams from both his anime and game counterparts, so I thought that would work really best for Gary's standards. Now for his Johto team, which would be Blastoise, Umbreon, Nidoqueen, Arcanine, Dodrio, and Scizor. And this will actually be the team he'll actually use to battle Ash in the Johto League Conference. Finally, his Sinnoh team, which would be Blastoise, Umbreon, Electivire, Arcanine, Dodrio, and Bastardon. In the Diamond and Pearl series, there was an episode where Gary bonded with a Shieldon, but what if he actually caught that Pokemon? Well, he'll train it to evolve it into a Bastardon, so I think that would be really cool if he actually did. And he'll reveal it during the episode where Ash evolves as Gligar into Gliscor. But since Gliscor is in this timeline, I decided to turn that episode into a Torterra episode. And I imagine Gary actually training Ash Torterra to actually learn some Rock-type moves and actually learning to adapt to his slowness, which will be right in time before the league starts. And I think that'd be really good for both Pokemon. Richie's team will be Charizard, aka Zippo, Vileplume, aka Flower, Butterfree, aka Happy, Pikachu, aka Sparky, Marowak, aka Bones, and Vaporeon. I didn't give it a nickname. Anyways, Pikachu and Butterfree will remain the same, however, his Charmander will fully evolve this time around, all the way into Charizard, which I think should have happened. For the other team members, I decided to take a couple pages out of both Trace's teams from both the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games. He'll actually catch Marowak in a similar way as Trace did in the games, and this will also make up for the fact that I didn't give this Pokemon to either Ash or Brock. And finally, for Vaporeon, as I think this Pokemon fits Richie well, so I also gave it to him just to complete his Fire, Water, and Grass chain. Richie also had a Spearow and a Tentacruel, but I'm removing them since those Pokemon are just random placeholders for show, so they didn't really do anything at all. Harrison, his team will be Blaziken, Houndoom, Miltank, Steelix, Sneasel, and Grumpig. Now I'm keeping his team the same, except I'm replacing Hypno with Grumpig. Hypno is a cool Pokemon, but I want to give some more Hoenn representation since that's the region Harrison originated from. For Morson's team, I decided to give him Swampert, Arcanine, Gligar, Steelix, Metagross, and Zangoose. Tyson's team will be Meowth, Sceptile, Donphan, Hariyama, Shiftry, and Salamence. This idea came from another YouTuber, and shout out to infamous trainer Paul. His team will be Torterra, Honchkrow, Weavile, Electivire, Ursaring, and Magmortar. I'm actually keeping Paul's team the same as it was in canon. I mean, honestly, I actually grew to really like Paul's team the way it is, to be honest. I really like his setup, and I really think, all of them fit him very well. And I love how his team's, differentiated from both Ash and all of his other rivals. He'll still catch Gyarados, Garchomp, and Metagross as well. For Nano's team, I decided to give him Roserade, Kricketune, Lopunny, Altaria, Sunflora, and Armaldo. Now, I decided to give him the same team. However, I decided to get in some rotating Pokemon as well. This would also work for Nando's growth as a trainer as well, since he is a rival for both Ash and Dawn, and this would really give him some good development. Next is Creepy Conway. His team will be Slowking, Pinsir, Kecleon, Shuckle, Licky Licky, and Dusknoir. I swapped out both Heracross and Aggron, as Paul already has an Aggron, and I decided to replace Heracross with Pinsir. I gave him Kecleon because I think that Pokemon fits Conway's battle style and personality as well. Barry. His team will be Empoleon, Roserade, Staraptor, Heracross, Rapidash, and Snorlax, as this is the team that he had in his game counterparts, which I actually prefer over the likes of Hitmonlee and Skarmory. Next is Unova's knockoff version of Trip. His team will be Superior, Melon Pheasant, Conkeldurr, Seismitoad, Chandelure, and Bouffalant. Now I'm keeping 4 of the same team members, except 2 of them are fully evolved this time around. I gave him a Bouffalant, which would resemble his love for Alder. Finally, I'm giving him Palpitoad to replace Frillish, as this is a Pokemon Ash caught, but instead I'm going to have Trip catch it, and he'll evolve into a Seismitoad, which I think fits Trip perfectly well. Now for Bianca's team, I decided to give her a mix of both her in-game and anime team, as I think this team is the best I could provide for her. Now for Stefan's team, or Stefan's team, or whatever. Anyways, his team will be Sock, Zebstrika, Lightbird, Gigalith, Minshao, and Drudican. Now I decided to give him a full team of 6 since he's known for being a strong trainer. Plus I decided to add three new Pokemon by giving him Minshao and Drudican, plus Gigalith. Now you don't like how Ash caught Boldore? Well, this time I'm giving this Pokemon to Stefan, and he'll evolve all the way into a powerful Gigalith. Now for Cameron's team. His team will be the same, except I'm adding Heatmor for better typing. For Virgil's team, I decided to give him a full team of all the evolutions, so every single evolution will be his team, just like it is in canon. But the only difference is that one Eevee will actually evolve into a Sylveon. And this would be Sylveon's real first appearance in my timeline. For Tianor's team, I decided to keep it the same, except I'm giving him a Mega Blastoise and I'm also adding Hawlucha just to give him some more Kalos representation. Trevor's team will be Mega Charizard Y, Aerodactyl, Forretress, Trevenant, Octillery, and Galvantula. His first 2 Pokemon will actually be caught in the same place. He'll see a Joltik that tried to attack him when he's trying to take a picture of it, but then he ends up catching it to defend himself. Then realizes that it was hiding on a Trevenant. And the reason why I gave Trevenant to Trevor is because, well, their names sound kind of alike. I came up with that one. And lastly, Octillery, the lonely Pokemon, fits Trevor, mainly because of, Trevor's been spending most of his time, traveling alone. Sawyer's team will be Mega Sceptile, Salamence, Slacking, Aegislash, Clawitzer, and Carbinx. This idea came from a YouTuber named Aleximo, so I highly suggest you recommend watching his video. Plus, shout out to him as well. For Alon's team, I decided to give him the same team, except I'm swapping Unpheasant and Weavile for 2 Pokemon he had in Pokemon Journeys. So, since Paul already has a Weavile and I already given Alon's Unpheasant to Trip and Ash. Plus, this will actually make it for the fact that it involved Clement's Chespin, so that's why Chestnut is here, and Malamar will actually reference his team in Journeys. Gladion's team will be Umbreon, Midnight Storm Lycanroc, Savali, Zoroark, Crobat, and Alolan Muck. Now I'm keeping the same 4, however I decided to add 2 more Pokemon to his team. The first one being Crobat, as this not only makes up for the fact I didn't give this Pokemon to Brock, I also decided to, have it reference, his game counterpart. I also decided to give him a Alolan Muck, since this is the Pokemon I actually used during my playthroughs. Also, it's part Dark type, and I think it fits Gladion well. Plus, I decided to, have it reference, his game counterpart, whereas he was part of Team Skull. House Pokemon team will actually, be the same as its game counterpart, but I decided to switch out Vaporeon for Flareon, as Lawn already has a Vaporeon, so I'm giving Hal a Flareon instead. Professor Kukui, or the Masked Royal, I should say, his team will be Incineroar, Midday Form Lycanroc, Braviary, Hawlucha, Alola Ninetales, and Melmetal. I gave him a Midday Form Lycanroc since Ash already has Dusk Form and Gladion has a Midnight Form, so this would also reference Pokemon Masters EX. I'm giving him an Alola Ninetales, as this would also make up for the fact that I didn't give this Pokemon the Ash or Evolve Lilies, and I think this Pokemon was a great fit for Kukui. I gave him Hawlucha to replace Lucario, plus he and Ash both have Hawlucha, and I think Hawlucha also fits Kukui as well. And Melmetal, as I know Ash already has this Pokemon, but I decided to remove it from Ash's team and give it to Kukui, as there's another way for it to actually appear in the anime. And Kukui would actually be able to spend more time researching it as well. Lastly, we have Leon. His team will be G-Max Charizard, Mr. Rhyme, Dragapult, Aegislash, Rhyperior, and Urshifu. I decided to keep the first four as they were staples to his, game counterparts and anime. Plus, I'm giving him Rhyperior, as I didn't evolve Brox this time around. Finally, Urshifu, as people wanted this to be Ash's Pokemon, but since I didn't give this Pokemon to him, I decided to give it Kukui, and this is also inspired by another YouTuber named Sakura, who actually has one in her version, which gives me the idea to give this Pokemon the Leon. Plus, it will replace all three of the starters he had on his team in canon. And that's all the new teams I created for Ash's rivals. Let me know what you think of these teams in the comments, but please keep it respectful, because this is just my opinion. So, anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time for when I do more future content, and let me know if I should continue the rewrite series of the Pokemon anime. Also, try not to get too upset with these choices, as this is not meant to be taken seriously. I just thought I'd let you know that as well. Anyways, thank you for watching.